Hello, my interior design family. My name is Tia from Tia Caring Interiors, and today I want to talk to you about the earthy Christmas decor theme. And there are 8 ways in which you can achieve this earthy and indulgent feeling. Firstly, it's through the color palette. The color palette for this Christmas theme is chocolate, mocha, coffee, cacao. These kind of beiges and taupes are the colors that go so well in creating this earthy, indulgent feeling. And it's a color scheme that is very earthy and grounding. Of course, when we add in the greens that naturally come with Christmas, such as a Christmas tree and all other Christmas garlands and decorations, to pair together with those cacaos and those mocha colors and those coffee colors, it creates a very indulgent, grounding, and a very kind of almost a feeling that makes you feel nurtured. It's that feeling of grounded indulgence. So now that we know how to get our color scheme, which is again those coffees, mochas, cacao, taupes and creams, the second thing will be the textures. And with the textures, there are 2 ways of going about it. The first way is getting velvets and as well as silks in those mocha, chocolate, coffee colors, and that creates a luxurious but at the same time very comforting and earthy feeling to your decor. Another way, and you could pair both of these, but you could also choose either or. So the other way is by going for more raw and earthy finishes. So we're looking at wood, right? We're looking at fabrics such as linen or rattan, for example, for the mats, for the tablescape, right? You could also have the tablescape in the raw side. So for example, if you have a brown table, you could have the brown table without any linen covering it, and then you bring in some rattan placemats, and then you bring in some beautiful linen napkins, right? And that just creates a beautiful natural mocha earthy tone. And you could also bring in extra wood by serving some of your dishes on, for example, wooden platters or wooden trays for that extra earthy finish to them. And then you could also have your metals be in a color like bronze to really tie more into those earthy tones. So for example, like you could have bronze rings for your napkins, you could have bronze cutlery, you could also have bronze as your decor on your table when it comes to other metal pieces, for example candle holders. And this is a very, very beautiful way of creating the mocha tone, mocha earthy indulgence. And of course, is the top 2025 trend. Of course, you could go for a different Christmas theme, such as for example the classic red Christmas. I've filmed a video on that in this series as well. You can check out that playlist. And of course, you could also go for the trendy 2025 theme, which is this mocha, whichever way you like to be on trend, or to have like a Christmas tradition. And let me know down in the comments if you have a Christmas tradition in terms of the type of decor that you use. Perhaps you have a type of Christmas tree or that you use every single year with a certain theme. That'll be really fun to know and exchange some ideas. And that brings us perfectly to the 4th way, the Christmas tree. Now, the Christmas tree, of course, is a pièce de résistance. It is the centerpiece of Christmas. So how do we bring in this mocha color palette onto the Christmas tree? The first way is through the Christmas bubbles, right? So we want to go for colors such as coffee, So the darker coffees, the mochas, right? We also want to go for bronze or a flat matte gold finish. And these kind of colors in your bubbles are exactly what you need to bring in that beautiful mocha feeling. And if you want to take it even more in on trend and to also have a Christmas tree that is a little bit different, you can even add in some pampas grass, which also will add to that earthiness of the Christmas tree, right? So really experiment, go wild, use this color palette and bring in anything and everything you can find. Of course, staying within this color scheme of mocha, coffee and cacao. A fifth way in which you can continue to add on to this earthy indulgence is by bringing in vases. Vases that you store flowers, or you just use them decorative as a decoration in your home, right? You could swap out the ones you have. That could be, for example, glass or any other kind of white finish to something that has a terracotta finish, a clay finish, right? And that will just make your Christmas sing and will make it look very luxurious, very luxe to your guests, and will just every single item in your home will look well put together and well thought through. And you deserve that because of the amount of thought you've put into your Christmas. By even watching and clicking this video, I want to give you every single tip that I can to really bring out your theme and make you Christmassy, worthy of the effort that you put into it. So yes, those terracotta or clay vases just add an extra layer of earthiness and really ties in every single part of your room. And then of course, when we're talking about vases that you're going to store some flowers, right? We also want to talk about the other small accessories. And what do I mean? I mean the throws. You want to have throws, for example, in a coffee color. And then you can have cushions that could be in a cream color or a taupe, something that complements that throw in a coffee color but stays in the same color scheme. So you want to be bringing in those cushions, those throws, those blankets. You could also create yourself a tray for your coffee table that is a wooden tray, for example, to bring in again that earthy indulgence feeling into your home, and fill it with a few decorative items that are on brand with the color scheme. Then when it comes to our wrapping paper, we want to use the same color scheme, right? So we want to use those mocha colors, those coffee colors, as we've talked about before. But then we could also add in a color like green, right? And of course our Christmas tree is green, but also green and brown. These are colors that are actually the colors associated with earth, right? So combining them together. And how could you have different themes in your Christmas wrapping? Well, the first way is of course by just having a one color Christmas wrapping paper, for example, green paper, and you tie a nice bow in something like a silk or a satin ribbon or a velvet ribbon. A second way is by having botanicals, right? So having a Christmas paper, a wrapping paper, sorry, that has a botanical finish to them that can be so beautiful in creating that earthy, rich feeling. And of course, if you want to bring in more neutrals, you could also have a color such as cream, and you use those browns again, or those mochas, those coffees, those cacaos in your ribbon to tie up your Christmas tree. You can have one theme, or you can use all of them, whichever way you want to go. That brings us to our scents. Now we have everything we see and everything we can touch be in this mocha, coffee, cacao finish, right? So now we want to bring in our scents as well, right? So we want to get candles, or we want to get room fragrance sprays, or we could even use an essential oil diffuser, right? Or we could actually boil some cinnamon in a pot and let it simmer to get those Christmassy scents into the air, to bring in a more indulgent Christmas feeling. And while you're there, definitely make yourself a nice warm cup of cocoa, with that nice cacao, to really allow yourself to enjoy this cacao earthy Christmas through the sense, the sight, the touch, and as well as through the taste. And with that, my darling, I hope you have a beautiful Christmas and bring in this warmth into your home. You can bring luxury through velvet and satin, or you can bring rawness through rattan and linen, or a mixture of both. And with that, my darling, I wish you a beautiful and happy Christmas this 2025. I'll see you in my next video.